All right, well, you got 1 more minute. So squeeze in all those last emails, squeeze in those last texts, write those last deals. We're going to start in 1 minute, everyone, and we'll get started. I think you're really going to enjoy the session we have planned. Susan did all the hard work, so I did nothing.
All right, we got someone joining us from their iPhone. Hello there.
Hi, iPhone.
I think we've got some new clients as well as some non-clients on this call as well.
Yeah.
So welcome you if this is your first time on here. We are going to give you the most value that we can in the next 30 or so minutes. So just know that we're trying to keep this under 30 for you. Okay.
We're definitely going to. All right, we're going to get started here. All right, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us for Firestarter installment number 4. We do five every 6 months with a little bit of management by fire strung in between. So let's get started. Susie, you want to bring up the first slide? We're gonna talk today about our inventory problems, right? We're gonna discuss the issues we're having with inventory, how to bring it in, and how to make that better. But first and foremost, no, we're going back one, Susan. We're talking about management by fire. Listen, everybody, next month, like I said, we do 5 fire starters every 6 months with some management by fire dropped in. All of you have been participating and have been so great in this. I don't want you to miss out on the full complete 360 of everything. We got just a couple seats left. We kind of limiting everything due to COVID. It's going to be an amazing 2 days. Susan, you want to tell them a little more about it?
If you are a manager, a GM, GSM, internet manager, BDC manager, if you are responsible in any which way for sales performance in your dealership, this is by far the most valuable 2 days that you could invest in. We basically take all of the strategies, all these sales and conversion strategies, we break them down, we dive into them, we go into the psychology behind them, why they are so effective. And we train you, we'll drill you, we'll get you to sweat a little bit as well. But our purpose is to train you, the trainer, so you can go back and hit the ground running with your team. Okay, 2 days.
2 days.
18th, 19th. Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
That's our plug. We don't plug anything on Firestarters except that, okay? Let's go. All right, so we're facing a lot of challenges, everybody, right? You're all dealing with it. We're having great months. You're killing it. I talked to countless dealers across the country who are telling me March was one of the greatest months they had. They broke records. I know one group, 56 years in the business, they had the greatest month they've ever had. We're selling a little less cars, but we're grossing so much more after all this. And we know that we're having inventory problems down the road, right? We got chip problems. We have now rubber problems. This isn't going away anytime soon, and there's going to be hiccups along the way. And the biggest challenge is the American people are buying and spending. We're seeing it. They're coming out of quarantine. They're coming out of COVID, and they're spending money. I just 2 weekends ago went to Hershey, Pennsylvania with my family. The place was packed. People were buying the most ridiculous things you can imagine, but they were just spending money. And you're seeing that same thing happen in your showrooms. People are buying, shopping. You're not hearing that, where's that $250 a month lease? That doesn't exist. It's gone, and no one cares, okay? We are in a world where consumers are buying, but we have less to give them. Right? So we're managing our inventory. We're grabbing all the gross that we can, and it's not the same challenge we used to be, okay? But here's the thing. I can't solve your new car problems. I won't. Inventory problems. I just won't. I can't. Susan can't. We can't put more cars on your lot for new cars, but we can with used, okay? So let's talk about used for a second. Let's break it down. Manheim's talking in 2019, we sold 40 million used cars in America today, dealerships. Franchise dealers sold 40 million used cars in 2019. We saw a 4 million car drop in last year in 2020. Manheim's predicting we're going to be back to that 40 million figure, no problem, easy peasy, 2021. Here's the problem. There's a lot more people that want to buy cars. If this was any normal year, we might be talking 42, 43. The problem is what they're saying is holding it back is there's not enough used cars out there to sell to people. okay? Which means prices are going up. Manheim's saying prices are going to go up 30% from where they are now into the heart of the spring selling season, okay? So prices are going up. Awesome. We're going to be able to sell these cars more, but that means if you're sending your used car manager or your buyer to the auction, they're just going to be spending that much more on cars, shrinking that great margins that we've all been enjoying. So where do we get good cars from people who don't know that prices are going through the roof? Our own clients. Okay. The average consumer has no clue what's happening. I'm sure they probably listen to CNBC or something like that, so they know new car inventory is a problem, but no one's talking about used. No one knows that Hyundai in their driveway is going to jump 30% over the next couple months, but you do. Okay, so what we're going to do is today we're going to show you how to get those cars through your showroom, get them into the store, and buy them at the right price so you can sell them at that plus 30%. Okay, next thing we're seeing, lead to show conversions, right? They're not where they should be, okay, because we have such great, leads have grown, right? People are home, they're submitting leads at like crazy, and we're watching that lead grow, but we're watching that conversion percentage drop. Guess who's not seeing that conversion percentage drop? Allen Ram clients who are crushing this program. They're on the high end of this range, okay? All of you who have been on these calls and participating, you've been watching your conversion rates get better and better and better because you're working those customers. Why allow all these leads to just go to all your competitors? You okay with that? I know I wasn't when I was running my stores. I wasn't okay with that. And I know you're not either. So remember, everything out of that 90 to 65% of lost leads, okay, are just going to your competitors because these people are buying cars. So let's work on our share of conversions. Let's get these cars before we can have them and not worry about our inventory problems. All right, Susan, let's go to the next slide. All right, so how do we do it? Hooking the trade. Listen, you hear me bang into everyone's head on Saturday, Sparks, about hooking the trade. You're hearing Susan, for the dealership she's doing spot training with, hooking the trade, hooking the trade, hooking the trade. Why are we beating this into your heads? Because it's the best way to build your inventory, right? Hooking the trade and using those tactics are the best way to grow that inventory and build your inventory because you're having that conversation constantly, okay? And as much as we're banging into your head about it, you need to be banging into your teams about it. Remember, this all is not about, selling the most cars. We've learned that now, right? We're not about selling the most cars. It's just about leaking the least. Let's get the most customers in our store that we can. CarMax does this every single day, right? CarMax, don't worry about buying a car from us. Just sell us your car. They get it. They get that buying a car from a customer is so much more better. Buying that car off the curb is so much better than sending someone out to the auction. So why aren't you? And we give you the best tool and the best script you have to be able to leverage that trade. Let's go next, Susan. All right, so here we go. We're going to do a little hooking the trade. Susan and I are going to simulate a little bit for you so you can hear how the script goes and how it flows. But most importantly, when we're done, we're going to put Susan on, and Susan's going to walk through with you. Why do we hook the trade? How do we break it down? Why is it important? What are the reasons why you hook the trade? And why are all these pieces in that script? And then finally, how to perfect it with your team, how to practice with them, drill with them, and hold them accountable. All right? Ring, ring, Susan.
Hi, thanks for calling Guyton Motors. How can I help you?
Hey, my name's Michael. I'm calling Guyton Motors. How are you today? I'm looking for a car. I saw online a great Audi. I love it, the Q5. Can you tell me more about it?
I'd love to. Listen, you picked a great time to call us on the Q5, but with your permission first, if you don't mind, if I can ask you a couple of questions so that you know we're talking about the same vehicle. Would that be okay?
Sure.
All right, great. Tell me, how familiar are you with the Q5?
No, I just see it driving around. It looks cool.
It is such an awesome car. And tell me, are you looking for that in a two-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive?
No, I'm in New York. I need all-wheel drive. It still snows here.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect. Now, are you looking for that in base models or something a little more souped up?
Nah, I like my gadgets. You could soup it up a little bit.
Awesome, awesome, wonderful. And lastly, have you had a chance to drive the Q5, the new one?
No, like I said, I just see it driving around. It looks cool.
It's unbelievable. Listen, wait until you do. I guarantee you're going to love it. The fit and the finish, everything that they have improved on the inside, on the outside, the attention to detail. I promise you, once you get in and drive it, you're going to forget about anything else that you're considering. By the way, you don't have to buy this car today, do you?
No, I'm cool.
Okay, well, cool. Well, let me do this for you. I'm going to go and look to see what we have in all-wheel drive, Q5, any other packages that may appeal to you. It shouldn't take me too long at all. What is your cell phone number?
Sure, it's 917-279-6684.
Awesome. And what's your first name?
Michael.
Awesome, Michael. Do you mind holding for just a little bit? Shouldn't take me
Sure.
too long. Perfect. And this is where you put the client on hold. Now, this is where the magic happens when you get back on with the client. Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for holding. I checked our inventory and listen, we've got so much to choose from. Your biggest challenge is going to have to narrow your selection to just one vehicle. So let me ask you, are you currently an Audi owner?
No, I have a Mazda.
Oh, okay. And is that the vehicle that you're considering trading in?
Sure. Why not? I'm not going to need it anymore.
Well, tell me a little bit about it. What model, what year?
Yeah, it's a 2015, 16, I think. I can never remember. It's got like 70,000 miles on it. I don't really drive it that much. It mostly sits in my driveway.
Oh, okay. So overall condition, you'd say pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, why not? I mean, the kids make a mess, but it's good.
Well, listen, that car sounds like it would make a great transition vehicle for us. Let me explain. Obviously, we get a lot of people coming in here looking for a brand new car, sometimes right off the truck. They can't afford it. They end up looking for something a little bit older that they could get into. We call them transition vehicles or commuter vehicles, student vehicles. Here is where you can fit in anything that you want, okay? So we just have a great demand for these types of vehicles. And for that reason, our appraiser tends to pay more, sometimes a lot more. Let me ask you, when was the last time you had that appraised?
Never.
Well, listen, I would love the opportunity to take a look at it. When can we get together? As a matter of fact, what are you doing right now?
I'm just doing this fire starters thing. I'll be done in a little bit and I can come over. They
Awesome.
promise I'll be done by 2:30.
Minutes. We'll book you. I'll have the cars waiting for you to drive to check out. And bada bing, bada boom, that is it. I'm not going to get into actually setting the appointment. I'm going to stop there. But that is the trade hook. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit more. I'm going to share the screen again so that you guys can see where the trade hook starts. So ideally, if you are delivering the word track as it is, you'll put the client on hold for just a little bit. You're not getting up from your seat. You're not going to touch any cars. You're just placing them on hold so that they think that you're out there working for them. You come back after no more than 15 seconds. Great. Your biggest challenge is going to be narrowing your selection to just one car. We've got so many cars to choose from. By the way, are you currently an Audi owner yourself? Okay. And then this is where really the magic happens. Hooking the trade, if delivered in every single sales opportunity, can get your show rates up by 30%. And the reason why is because you're taking the pressure off of the purchase vehicle. Most clients, most shoppers, when they call, what are they afraid of? I mean, their defenses are, up the roof, but they're afraid that you're going to quote them something really high. A lot of them just don't even know what to ask for, but they know that they're going to feel some pressure on the purchase vehicle, right? And so if you shift that pressure, we call it flipping the script. If you flip the script on them, take that, because listen, chances are they're not going to buy that car. 82% of people switch. So even if you think they're dead set and you want to land them on that car, guess what? They're going to switch and they're going to visit or call other people. So you take the emphasis off of the purchase vehicle and put it on their trade. We know that about 80% of all the shoppers that call you have a tradable car. So if I were running the show, if I were running your store, I would mandate this, not just on every single phone call, but in every sales situation. Any opportunity that you have where you have a shopper asking for a car, you're going to flip them and hook the trade. And just like Michael said, I hear it all the time. I hear GMs and GSMs hitting the road, driving sometimes even out of state to visit new auctions because they need inventory. Yet you guys have all of these opportunities come to you via phone, via email, via web, people visiting your website. And so this is what you want to focus on. And listen, if they are not interested, that's okay. You've planted a seed of hope in their head so that by painting the picture that you really want their car, they're thinking to themselves, okay, when they're calling other people, they're visiting other dealerships, dealing with other salespeople, do you think the average salesperson is doing this? Absolutely not. So just by you mentioning this and creating this demand, they will remember you. And this is like your insurance to almost guarantee that they're going to come in and see you. Okay. So that is the trade. Now, when can you utilize this word track? All right. We've got different versions of it that we have trained our clients on. The Dirty 30. The Dirty 30 is an outbound script, but it's exactly this. It's hooking the trade. It's just doing it on outbound follow-up calls. And so, Mike, I'm going to pass it back to you so that you can go through what opportunities you guys need to be using this word track in.
It's going to be, yes, the simple answer is it's every opportunity.
Yeah.
We're in a place right now where you all need inventory, okay? You want to pay a 30% markup at the auction. You want to pay a 30% markup on your wholesalers or whoever you're buying cars for, go right ahead, okay? But this should be done on every opportunity. You have, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 40 or 50 salespeople on your sales floor, depending on how small or big your store is. Those are 5 to 50 people who are going to get on the phone with your customers, not just on the sales floor, also on the BDC as well, who are getting on the phone with your customers, hundreds of them a day, right? They're making calls nonstop all day long, every day. This question needs to be asked every time. You need to follow hooking the trade. Will you trade in that car? Do you have a trade-in, right? We'll buy your car. Even if you don't buy from us, we'll cut you a check and you can spend it anywhere you like. That is the language, and that's what you have to do. This is war, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that's what we're doing. We're fighting over inventory now, right. Okay? 40 million, Manheim says 40 million plus are going to buy used cars this year. 40 million used cars. There's not 40 million used cars out there. So get as many as you can in your store because they're all sitting in your customers' driveways, okay? So we're going to talk about this for purchases, leases, new car call, used car call, inbound phones, outbound phones. If you're asking the question about your customer's trade, once you've gotten to that TO, then the customer's sitting there. How many times have you sat there? Hey, do you have a trade-in? Oh, yeah, I do have a good trade, but it's home on my driveway. My wife is driving it. My husband is driving it right now. Make sure they're asking that trade every time before they get to the store. And then once they're in the store, guess what? Go get them in service. Okay?
Mike, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If I'm working the phones, if I'm taking phone pops and I take a call and someone is dead set on coming in, made the appointment, I know almost guaranteed he's going to show up. I have not brought up the trade. Do I bring up the trade if I've made the appointment?
100%. There's nothing to be scared about. Okay. All of our sales staff, right? Our best salespeople that we have no fear. Correct? They'll ask anyone anything. But we have 2 or 3 of those people in our store. Maybe if we're lucky, there's 5 of them in our store. Okay. But You got to ask every time. Don't be afraid about losing a customer. The worst thing they're going to say is, nah, I'm giving that car to my kid.
Why
Okay.
do you think salesmen are afraid to bring it up?
I think they're afraid that now I'm starting another conversation and I don't know how to handle that conversation. I don't know how to stay in control of that conversation. And that's what this script does. This hooking the trade gives them the confidence to have that conversation, the ability to have that conversation, knowing I'm not going to lose this customer just by asking it. And the worst thing they're going to say is I'm giving the car to my kids, or, my mom is going to drive the car, or whatever it is. Okay. That's the worst thing that's going to happen. Okay.
I think some salesmen might be timid because they're thinking that they might have negative equity on their trade. I think a lot of folks, when they get on, they think it's a secure appointment and they don't want to bring up the trade because, listen, this guy's going to come in right now. So why would I bring up the trade just in case he's negative?
Listen, they can have negative equity, positive equity.
He's going to carry that to your competitor and do the same thing.
Exactly.
So as desk managers, we deal with this all the time, but it's important to let your salesman know, hey, listen, it does not matter. You still have to ask about the trade.
Yeah. And when it comes to negative equity and all of those things, these are things that, listen, you all know it. I don't have to tell you how to be on the floor, but that's F&I's job. Don't worry. F&I will deal with that negative equity. That's what they're best at. Okay. And that's what their expertise is. Your job as a salesperson and your job as a manager with your salesperson is to make sure you are opening up every opportunity. So when that customer comes in, they're not so set on color. They're not so set on model. They're not so set on, what is my trade going to be? Okay. So all of those areas, all of those places, that's where you need to be. So I want to take this for a minute and open it up. What kind of questions do people have? How can we help you, the managers, get this scripting to your team, practicing, drilling it? What are the roadblocks you think you're having? And keep in your head the biggest thing, and I've seen this now as I'm traveling to dealerships and talking to dealers all across the country. Got to stop having that tail wag the dog. You're the dog. You wag that tail. Okay. So does anyone have any questions? Anything that Susan, myself can help you with and help you work through while we're here as a group?
Hey, can I dial in for a minute? Hey.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is Paz. I'm a sales manager here at Atlanta Toyota. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Paz. How are you?
Hey, good. One of the biggest things I think we added on to this to get the appointments, which is really good, especially when maybe flipping the trade, but most, I think, right in between is the appointments based on what time would you like to come in, based on, because it gives us 15 minutes to pre-sanitize a vehicle. When you say that, the vehicle, talking about sanitation, it just says there's effort applied. It takes, we take care of, basically the whole process of the safe distancing. The environment's safe. That's a key factor, the guard. So when we say pre-sanitize, because we don't know what the customers are at on the phone. So when we say the words like, just let us know what time you're going to come in, set a soft appointment for a certain time so we can pre-sanitize it. So we take control of the conversation. And what happens, we talk about, I just sent you a text in option and just let us know if you're running late or something like that. And that actually really works. Really, really heavily. And I know hooking the trade is the most important part. That confirms like, oh, we've got an appraiser on standby for an appraising. It takes 10 minutes process in terms of appraising. So you always talk about excitement about their car, but I think the new key factor right now is that pre-sanitation word. It's worked.
That's a wonderful point. And listen, anything that you can do to set yourself apart, to differentiate your dealership from what everyone else is saying. Paz, thank you. Because yes, there are a lot of, my boss, Shelly Saban, she won't go near a dealership if she does not research their sanitation process before that. And let me tell you, she's not the only one. There's tons of people like that. So just mentioning that you're going that extra mile for the customer so that they're comfortable coming in is gold. So I love it. Does anyone have any other tips or tricks or anything else that you add to the conversation that you'd like to share?
I'm better now that I'm vaccinated, by the way.
Awesome. All right. So we've got about 4 more minutes left. CarMax does it. They've been honing in and mastering this for years. And if they can do it, why can't you? I would mandate this script on every single phone call, internet lead, on the service drive. Make sure that your website is promoting appraisals. In fact, I would even go above that and reward any activity that is in line with hooking the trade. Appraisals, I would definitely maybe think about spiffing your guys. You really want to pay attention to those appraisal numbers and trade-ins. If your average rep takes in about 4 trades per month, and maybe next month he does 6, reward him. But appraisals, that's what we want. Again, I know that a lot of you guys are traveling and finding new ways to get cars, but you've got these folks coming to you, and you pay for these leads to come to you. So just by changing the team's language just a little bit, and having a huge push for this, talking about it, discussing it, drilling it in their heads until they're sick and tired of you talking about it. That's going to be the key. And I guarantee that you guys will see an uprise, not just in your conversion numbers, but also in your trades. Even if you can supplement just a few trades extra a month, I'm sure that that's going to help you guys gain that edge with your inventory. So,
Hey, I got one more thing.
Yes.
Guys, another tip. If anyone, you're talking to the people who are doing your marketing, advertising, whatever it is for your group or your store directly, get them to put out an email campaign, okay? We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy a car from us. Ask about when was the last time you had your car professionally appraised? Use the language from the program in this type of marketing, because when your salesperson uses that language, or you use that language, they remember where they saw it, and now you have some continuity with it all, and the conversation becomes that much easier because you already broke ice with them on this conversation digitally.
Beautiful. And don't forget that all the scripts are housed within the workbook. They're also found in your file vault on adaptvt.com. But we will be sending you, as always, a manager's packet, post fire starters packet. So you'll have some of the resources there for you. Michael, do you want to talk about Management by Fire?
Yeah, I got to give one more last plug here for Management by Fire. I mean, some of you have already been to Management by Fire. Some of you have never experienced it. It is 2 days of intense training, accountability, and simulation. Those are the things that we preach. These are the things that you need to know, and we're going to teach you those tricks of the trade, and how to get your team motivated, how to get them using the scripts, and how to just keep them accountable. 2 days of just really intense. We're going to take you guys, because I know all of you are good managers. We're going to make you great managers. All right, so come and join us. 2 days. If you're worried about COVID, we're following all the rules, everything. It's a beautiful hotel. The hotel overlooks the Porsche track. So listen, at Management by Fire, I'd love to see all of you there. We only have so much space though. So get in your registrations as soon as possible.
Did you want to talk about the discount? I know
We're going to offer everybody a discount. Guys, we promised everybody you'd get $50 off of Management by Fire for every single fire starters you attended. So that's $200 because we've had 4. If you register by Monday, Susan's upping it to $400 off. She's going to take it right out of her check. She volunteered that for everybody. So come on. Listen, by Monday. What?
I'm going to ask for forgiveness instead of permission here, but yeah. Big deal right now. If you're on this call, this is just extended to the folks on this call right now. If you are on here and you have an interest in going, again, this is intense. We're going to make you sweat a little bit in class. Okay. $400 off the client price. So you've got to register by Monday, the 19th. Okay, so if you're on this call, $400. If you you can message us now, you can call me now, you can raise your hand, we can get you registered.
Ricky already raised his hand.
Ricky's raising his hand. Yeah, he's totally there.
Ricky, we know you've got some folks. I know he sends Ricky's great about sending his managers, new managers all the time. Let me tell you, his store runs like a well-oiled machine because his managers understand how effective these things are. I know Puerto Rico also, the Penske Group sends their guys. I know some of you folks, Paz, I know will be there with us. But again, $400 off, that's a huge discount. Again, Shelly, sorry in advance, but you have to register by Monday. So with that, we will leave you.
Oh, wait, Ricky's got a question.
Yeah, I just wanted, I was going to plug your plug. So you were just going after it, but you know, I don't allow any of my managers to work here that haven't been through management by fire. And for someone who, you know, sat through Alan's class, you know, when he was doing it, to Susan doing it, to when Laura Madison was there, I've been through a few different classes, and each time I pick up a little something different. You know, one of my favorite sayings I picked up from one of them that I use almost daily, it's not who sells the most, it's who spills the least, right? So there's multiple times I've been to these things, and if you guys haven't been or haven't sent your managers, it's an investment that, you know, pays you back really well on dividends. It's almost like Bitcoin right now. So I recommend you strongly send your people and go yourself. The only thing I wanted to add is, you know, this chip situation that we're dealing with as a market, it's a disadvantage, but slip that into your hook in the trade and it becomes an advantage, right? So, you know, you're hooking the trade, you're talking about when's the last time you had it appraised. By the way, were you aware of the chip situation we're having in the new car market right now? Well, what do you mean? Well, we're unable to get new cars. So what that's done to used car prices is that they've skyrocketed. So your car's never been worth more than what it would be worth right now. When's the last time you had it appraised, right? So add that to hook in your trade. It works wonders. That's it.
Awesome.
That's
Thank you, Ricky.
incredible. Thank you so much for the tip. This guy's a living testament to taking these strategies and really putting them to use. He's seen a tremendous upclimb in his store's profit. So thank you, Ricky, for that. I know we'll be seeing you soon in Atlanta. So any other questions before we end this meeting today? All right. Well, listen, folks, it's been awesome. I really hope to see you guys in
Atlanta.
in just four weeks here, a little more than 4 weeks. Have a wonderful day. Keep crushing it, everyone. Don't forget to hook the trade on every single opportunity, and guaranteed you will see it in your pockets. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Till the rest of the month, everyone. Thank you.
Bye,
Everyone.
guys.
Thanks, Ricky.